and is dry.
What do we got here? There we go.
That looks like treasure chest to me. Oh my god.
Dude, somebody was digging a grave out here.
From a relaxing camp turning into a race against a deadly fire, to a mysterious bag left on a van in the dead of night, the wilderness hides threats you can't always predict. When the environment itself turns against you, do you have a plan to survive? On January 24th, 2026, the YouTube channel Count It All Joy shared a video far removed from its usual homestead content. Known for documenting quiet family life, farm chores, and rural living, the channel instead captured an unsettling moment at an isolated countryside property in the United States. With the husband away and a mother home alone with her children, an ordinary day unfolded into something deeply unsettling, without warning or outside help nearby.
What is he doing? Okay, dude, you can keep on walking. Now, I don't know if he's going over to the neighbor's driveway. I called 911 already. Now I'm going to call Dutch back and see if he has this guy's phone number. Okay, dude, you need to move along. Literally can't even leave your kids home who are of age because you have some Fruit Loop walking down the road. This is ridiculous. While people are at work, taking their kids to school, doing whatever they're supposed to do, he's just wandering down, seeing what he can steal or what he can get. This is ridiculous. I guess I'm literally going to follow where he ends up. What are you doing roaming around at people's houses? Don't come on our property. Don't come on our property. Do what? No, you're roaming around. No one else is roaming around. It's you. Okay, well, the cops are headed this way, so you can talk to them. The cops are headed this way, so you can tell them whatever.
Farm chores are underway when the dogs suddenly erupt into loud, aggressive barking. Sarah turns toward the sound and notices a lone man standing motionless at the edge of the tree line. His stillness feels heavier than the noise coming from the dogs.
Now he's on someone else's property. This is like getting out of control. We don't need this guy in our area. I don't know these people's phone number, but I'm trying to have Dutch get a hold of them because they have a couple cars home. This is absolutely insane. He has no business over there. I'm trying not to scare him off so I can talk to these people. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of them. I literally need to go pick Hadley up. This is not how I expected to spend my day. Ridiculous. What is he doing? That's absolutely terrifying. That if the lady's home and she just looks outside and this dude's staring at her house.
Choosing not to confront him, Sarah gets into her van and keeps her distance. From inside the vehicle, she slowly follows as he walks along a quiet country road while she calls 911. His pace is unnaturally slow, and he shows no reaction to the barking dogs or the vehicle trailing nearby. The lack of urgency in his movements only heightens the tension. As she watches, the man turns into nearby driveways, stepping onto private property without hesitation. He moves through neighboring yards as if no boundaries exist. The houses remain silent. No one comes outside, no help arrives. Later, Sarah returns and explains where the man had appeared. The way she describes it quietly changes how the entire encounter feels.
While I was here on the property by myself, Dutch was out of town and the girls were all at school. I just had a few minutes that I was going to check on some things with the animals. And I heard the dogs barking, Gabby and Gracie. So those are our two German Shepherds. Around, I saw at the edge of the woods, literally right by our house, there was a guy. And I was like kind of squinting, I was like, surely that's not a person. But Gabby and Gracie just kept barking at him. And then he walked around behind the house. I thankfully had the van right beside me so I could quickly get in it. And then I decided I was going to back up in the van and just go along our driveway and follow and see where he was going. He ended up over across the road at our neighbor's, who is an elderly woman. And so we contacted her son. He was aware, and I just kept watching him to make sure he didn't make it up to her house. And so then I ended up following him to the end point where he went off into the woods.
Many viewers believe this encounter felt deliberate, not random, and more disturbing because help never arrived. When isolation meets delayed response, where does safety truly come from? And what choices would you make if this happened at your home? In November 2025, deep inside Botswana's central Kalahari, an expedition pushed farther into one of Africa's harshest regions. What began as a wildlife journey changed quickly when thick smoke rose along the horizon. What looked like rain was fire, fast-moving, unpredictable, and driven by shifting winds.
And it is a spectacular one. Are you joking? Time to go see some animals.
First night was fantastic. LX27, man, it was beautifully silent. We had the wind come in and kept it nice and cool. Sunrise was incredible this morning. And red sunrise. Ready for the day.
That's heaps of spaces in there. You could have 16 people in that. Hopefully, they say reckon it's line proof. So we'll test that out tomorrow night. No, geez, tonight. Biggest lines that there is on planet Earth, which is good. Nad said I didn't snore, so things are looking up. He said I'm not allowed to get on the now, so I can sleep nicely. We'll see how that goes.
As temperatures climbed past 40 degrees Celsius, the convoy crossed vast bull dust plains with few options to turn back.
Same as you get in the Kimberleys there, that really fine, very dusty stuff that is going to get absolutely everywhere. Temperature's about the same too, actually, probably 40 degrees. Crikey, it's hot. Gee, there's no water, and there's bugger all food.
Oh yeah, a bit of shade, eh?
Bit of shade.
This is where you definitely need an awning.
Survival in this environment would be difficult, with scarce water and little food. Rangers warned that lions freely roam these open camps, while advancing fires forced animals toward the same routes. Ash drifted through the air as the vehicles moved toward an orange glow that felt apocalyptic.
Into this wall of fire. Well, the rangers at the station have assured us that the wind will be winding down. Corrections, we are not taking this lightly. It was only a couple of years ago that we were forced to leave a campsite charging towards us, so we know the danger is real. Fires can be one of the most dangerous things to encounter when you're away on a touring trip.
Well, there we go. We were very lucky.
Winds shifted without warning, and past experience had already shown how quickly a campsite can be overtaken by flames. Fire, in remote touring, is among the most dangerous threats. By the time camp was reached, the land was scorched and silent. Trees stood blackened, facilities were burned, and the bush felt emptied, too quiet. As night fell, cooking continued under open flames, while tension lingered in every sound beyond the tents.
Well, there we go. We were very lucky. The direction of the road's going to the campsite. Fire's actually already ripped through this area, which was all the smoke we were driving towards. Fire pockets, there's a few more over there. All this section's burnt off, but it hasn't jumped the road, which is lucky. Otherwise, all this would be up as well, so.
And then, but yeah, rip in for the night, eh?
Dean's just come to show us the facilities.
This is a bit of the bog. This is the long drop. It's actually sad to see. These are beautiful. See the spiral shape? Looks like a big snail. Used to walk in there, walk around the timber, and this was really nicely, basically cornered off, so you couldn't see anything. And then that's the shower one, what used to be.
The fires had already passed through nearby sections, stopping short of the road. In places like this, danger doesn't announce itself. Fire, heat, predators, and isolation press in together. Some believe the danger had already passed, while others think it was only delayed. When fire moves this fast and help is far away, how do you know when it's truly safe to stop, or when to leave? A video posted on December 11th, 2016, captures a chilling scene. While searching for new places to ride, a motorcyclist encounters something unsettling in a wooded area. The creator of the YouTube channel Theo Freak Indoor is riding through the forest when something unusual catches his attention in the distance. He and a friend decide to leave their bikes and approach the area on foot. As they move closer, an uneasy feeling begins to set in, as if they are being watched. With each step forward, the discomfort grows stronger. They soon come across a large, square section of ground that appears recently disturbed.
What is that? No way. I didn't really like see it until you said something. Dude, that was straight up like, hold on. I want to get a good I want to get a good view of it. Dude, somebody was digging a grave out here. Oh God.
The soil looks freshly turned, out of place against the surrounding forest floor. They pause only long enough to record what they found, but the sight clearly leaves them shaken. The hole's size makes a simple animal burial unlikely, yet harmless explanations can't be ruled out. Its fresh, deliberate shape raises uneasy questions. Was this abandoned work, or something intentionally hidden? And would you have stayed to investigate? Late on a freezing night in Europe, a van life couple from the Channel camping car Joa En prepared to leave a quiet beachside spot where they had stayed undisturbed for nearly a week. The video documenting the incident was uploaded on January 31st, 2021. Until that morning, nothing unusual had occurred.
We stay in this beach for a week. We need to do some other stuff like go shopping for buying of food. So we are gonna leave today. Unfortunately, we love this place really.
While packing up their solar panels and gear, they noticed a biodegradable bag hanging from the back of their van. It hadn't been there the night before. Written on it were two simple words, "For you," along with a hand-drawn smiley face.
We are gonna show you what is in the bag. A bag is like this biodegradable bag was hanging outside, and it said like "for you." You guys can see. So we really thought that that is a garbage, like food garbage. But like right before Mark threw it away, and I said like, seriously, people do that kind of stuff? You know, like for the prank. You know, like a little bit mindset that if it is food garbage, do not get upset. You know, sometimes it happen. Why I say sometimes happen previous.
At first, they assumed it was trash or a prank meant to scare them away. Past trips had made them familiar with harassment, such as people knocking on doors and disappearing into the dark.
Teenager, you know, like knocking on our door and like laughing and run away. Those situations happen. Mark is going up, so camera is shaking. So we had a kind of like mindset, but you know, at least this bag has a "for you" and smiley face, and we just let's try it. You know, let's open it up. This is a bag. I just open it up and I pull out like what it has.
The assumption felt reasonable. When the bag was opened, the atmosphere changed. Inside were fresh fruits, small treats, decorations, and even sage.
There is orange and cute. Like, look at this. Fruits were here. Someone put it there for giving us. So like, who gave us? Middle of night. Like, when did they hung up? And then we found this little note. It is like a tea bag. They reuse it. It's really cute. It's nice. Basically, like, you say, "Hi, travel friends." Like, they say, you know, like, we saw our car and like, they love kimchi.
The items appeared carefully chosen and personal, not random or careless. The discovery felt unsettling, as someone had watched them closely enough to leave the bag in the middle of the night without making a sound or leaving a trace. While it may have been a kind gesture, the timing raises questions. Would it feel welcoming to you or intrusive? Deep in the woods, a YouTuber came across something unexpected, a landline phone hidden among the trees. When the receiver was lifted, what followed left a lasting sense of unease. Bohemian Grove is a private, all-male club that gathers once a year in the forests of Monterey, California. The location is heavily guarded and surrounded by secrecy, making it a frequent subject of conspiracy theories due to the lack of public information about what occurs during these meetings. A YouTuber known online as Dancer claimed to have entered the property multiple times to document what he found. During his visits, he explored cabins that appeared to be locked from the outside and described an unsettling atmosphere both inside the buildings and throughout the surrounding forest. He also recorded several unusual structures scattered across the property, ranging from large wooden buildings to industrial-looking setups with no obvious function. One of the most disturbing discoveries occurred when he found a phone concealed in the woods, emitting eerie sounds.
Like a minute or two ago, there was some pretty creepy noises in the trees. Probably just some animals, but you can never be so sure. Here's an AED. Oh, there's no AED in here. That looks like a poisonous spider. Hello? Alright. Phone will ring in hospital and security. Well, I should have read that before I touched it. I might have just blown my cover.
After picking it up, he believed the action may have triggered some kind of alert and feared being discovered. No one appeared at the time.
I did get a letter in the mail from San Francisco, California. Bohemian Club, weaving spiders coming out here, San Francisco. Dear Mr. It's a real mail, guys. Crazy. It is our information that in spite of the private nature of the Bohemian Club, you have made unauthorized entries into the Bohemian Grove, that while you were on the property, you took unauthorized video recordings of the Grove and events happening at the Grove. We also understand that you have posted these unauthorized recordings on various social media sites.
According to him, he later returned to the area, but the true nature of the site remained unclear. The videos gained attention online, but soon after, he received a formal letter. While its full contents were never shared publicly, the result was clear. He was required to remove all footage related to Bohemian Grove from his channel. Today, only re-uploads shared by other users remain online. The phone and the response that followed suggest strict monitoring, but not its purpose. Was it a simple security measure, or something more deliberate? And what would you think if exploring a place led to everything being erased afterward? Late in the evening, on a quiet stretch of UK farmland, Janet from the channel Janet Outdoors set out on her first solo bike stealth camp. The video documenting the experience was uploaded on July 20th, 2025. Exposed and uneasy, it quickly became clear that the night would not go as planned.
And I'm thinking whether I should go over there, because just here there's a footpath, because the noise of the gate will make me aware that they're there. So
her camouflage tent failed almost immediately. Bent poles and an unstable frame forced her to consider whether to stay or leave altogether. The field was crossed by footpaths, with nearby gates and tall crops offering limited cover, while also creating hidden blind spots.
Well, everybody, I don't know whether to bail. It's about 7:30, 8:15. I don't know whether I'd be better off going up there. Because if I move my tent there, they're going to see me. This brambles is covering me.
As daylight faded, hesitation took over. She lowered her profile by packing the tent away and using it like a bivvy, but the tension never eased. Thorns cut into her hands, ticks crawled across her skin, and every small sound felt magnified in the open field.
I actually brought a ploughman's lunch for my tea. And a can of fizzy orange. I don't know what to do. I've got to think quick, because if I need to go, I need to go now. Because I've been plucking up courage to come on this, my first bike camp, and it's quite nerve-wracking. I've had to really...
Then came the gates. Not once, but twice. A nearby gate opened and closed without footsteps, voices, or any visible movement. Minutes later, it happened again, as if someone had returned.
Aeroplanes. So then I wasn't filming, and I heard the gate go twice, and then through the other one, because there was two. And I didn't hear any footprints come round and saw me. Didn't see it, but I was talking.
The silence that followed made the isolation feel even heavier.
I switched you on because I was videoing, and the sound of the gates went again. That freaked me out, because obviously somebody had come back, and I didn't see them, and then the footprints stopped. And I'm still in the middle of it.
With no clear explanation and darkness approaching, Janet packed up immediately and rode home before night fully set in.
The sun is starting to go down now. I am going to go. I'm so sorry, this was a short and sweet video. And my tent broke. Properly, good and proper.
The sounds could have been something normal, but not seeing anyone made it scary. When you feel something moving nearby but can't see it, would you trust your feelings or wait to be sure? Metal Detecting in the Netherlands is a YouTube channel focused on real-life metal detecting discoveries. One of its videos, titled Found Treasure Chest While Metal Detecting, was uploaded on January 15, 2016, and has since gained more than 13 million views. In the short clip, the creator records an unexpected find while walking alone through a quiet forest. Using a metal detector, he receives a strong signal from a hidden spot beneath the ground. He begins digging, expecting something small, but instead strikes a large metal plate.
Looks like some sort of plate or something. Look at that.
Rather than stopping, he clears away dirt and fallen leaves, slowly exposing the plate's edges. When it is finally lifted, a neatly dug space appears beneath it. Inside the hole sits a medium-sized chest, carefully placed and concealed underground.
Whoa! Whoa, what the hell? That looks like a treasure chest to me. What is that? Let's take it out of the hole. God. What could that be? Oh, there's some writing over there. And then some heavy locks on there too.
Inside the chest, a note explains its purpose. The container is part of a global GPS-based treasure hunting game. The rules are simple. Find the container, share the discovery, take an item, and leave something behind. The note also invites the finder to join the community and keep the game active. No gold or ancient artifacts were uncovered, but the discovery revealed a hidden activity many people never realize exists. The chest seemed mysterious at first, yet had a harmless explanation. Still, finding something buried in the woods can feel unsettling. Would you be excited or cautious if you uncovered something hidden like this? On October 8, 2023, somewhere in the United Kingdom, the creator behind Camper Vibes set out for a rare night of wild camping. The plan was simple and lighthearted. New gear, a birthday celebration, and an overnight stay in a heavily populated woodland.
We're going camping. Now, I know the videos, like most things in life, but unfortunately she is not with us this week. We're going to give wild camping a go.
Exciting actually, because I am looking forward to it. I saw Louise off on her little jollies the other day.
The evening unfolded calmly. The tent was set up, the hammock was tested, and dinner was shared as darkness settled in. But as night deepened, the forest grew louder. Small sounds felt closer, and every rustle seemed to last longer than expected. They slept separately for the night, one in a hammock, one alone in the tent, and unease slowly crept in. Sleep came, but it was restless. In the early hours, a vivid nightmare took hold. The scene felt real, intense, and frightening, leaving her frozen and unable to react.
You got like a little porch bit in the tent. Was like there was a man sitting there and he was pushing and pulling my feet, trying to call Louise, but it just wouldn't come out. And then by the time I could actually speak her voice, she was dead anyway, and her arm just flopped out of the hammock. So that... You're killing me off with a dream. Honestly, so many freaky dreams. And then stupid Joni, before we left, was like, oh no. So midnight, witching hour. I'm like, oh great, it's like 5 to 12, Blair Witch is coming out. So I had to get over my own head, to be fair.
She woke suddenly, heart racing and body shaking, unsure how much time had passed. By morning, everything appeared normal. There were no footprints, no signs of movement, and no evidence that anything had happened at all. The forest stood quiet once again.
Crime documentary watcher, and normally that's okay, but when you come to the forest, and you hear all the noises.
Like camping in the mountains is going to be for you with a hiking element involved. My friend Matt and myself went to Dartmoor and had this epic view over a quarry, so I think that's what sort of gave you the...
Then she brought me to the forest where there's loads of noises. And
we live in the southeast, we've only got small hills, very small hills, and we're limited with options down here, aren't we?
Anyway, it was a good night. It was a little bit chilly. Had to put my coat on. I had to take this away. But yeah, we need to pack up. But before we do, you've had breakfast.
The night ended without incident, yet a lingering fear remained, showing how powerful the mind can be in unfamiliar places. When nothing physical happens, but the fear feels real, do you trust what you felt, or only what you can prove? The creator behind the Red Poppy Ranch YouTube channel had made several attempts to locate something unusual that local stories claimed existed on his own property. The video documenting this search was uploaded on June 18, 2017. After 3 failed attempts, he decided to try one last time, riding out on his ATV. During this attempt, he noticed an old fence post that matched what a friend had previously described. It appeared to be part of a former livestock corral, suggesting he was finally close to the area he had been searching for. Only minutes later, he reached an overgrown section of land that looked noticeably different from the surrounding area. There, he discovered a small grave hidden among the brush.
Oh, what do we got here? There we go. I'm gonna go see if I can figure out what happened.
The marker bore the name of a boy who was just 1 year old, born in the late 1940s. The finding was unexpected and deeply unsettling. Red Poppy Ranch is located in a small town where most residents are familiar with one another. However, when questions were asked locally, no one recognized the name written on the grave marker. Further searches through public records led nowhere. No documents or explanations could be found. The only confirmed detail is that the winter of 1949 was especially harsh, which may explain how the child died, but not why he was buried alone far from any cemetery. With records missing and memories fading, how many stories like this remain hidden? And what would you do if you uncovered one yourself? In 1986, a 19-year-old named Christopher Knight vanished from his home in Maine and chose to live alone deep in the forest. No clear reason was ever given for his decision. To survive, he quietly took food from dozens of nearby cabins and campsites. Over time, he also collected clothing, camping equipment, propane tanks, batteries, and other basic supplies. As locals began noticing items going missing, some residents deliberately left food outside, hoping to avoid nighttime break-ins. Even though people suspected someone was living nearby, one thing was clear: Christopher did not want to be discovered. He took extreme steps to stay hidden. He never lit a fire, worried that smoke would reveal his location, even during harsh winters when temperatures dropped to around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. As security cameras became more common, some of the thefts were eventually caught on video. Then, 27 years after his disappearance, Christopher triggered a motion sensor while attempting to take food from a camp. Police arrived and found him on the spot. It was his first direct contact with another person in decades. Authorities identified him as the individual responsible for thousands of minor thefts in the area. He was later sentenced to 7 months in jail and 3 years of probation. After his arrest, a blogger searching for a wild camping location accidentally discovered Christopher's former campsite. It contained a large collection of items gathered over many years, confirming it as his long-hidden shelter. Christopher's story shows how far someone can go to avoid society. Was this about survival, isolation, or choice? And could someone live unseen for so long today without being found? There is a YouTube channel called Safety Third, run by an explorer named Jed, known for solo trips into remote and dangerous locations. His content focuses on abandoned mines hidden deep in the wilderness, showing real risks like collapses, tight tunnels, and total isolation. The video documenting this experience was uploaded on January 1st, 2025. Jed set out to explore a group of old mines in a remote valley. Along the way, he crossed an icy stream, pushed through thick forest, and climbed over an abandoned railroad bridge. During the hike, a sudden loud crash echoed from the hillside. Something heavy had broken loose and fallen nearby.
Something's knocking wood up there. I don't know, it's weird.
At first, it seemed easy to explain, but the feeling of being watched slowly crept in. The deeper he went, the more unsettling the surroundings became. Soon after, sharp, rhythmic knocking sounds came from the woods, like repeated strikes against wood. The noise didn't follow a natural pattern, and the tension continued to build. When Jed reached the mine entrances, the mood shifted. Most of the openings were sealed with metal bars, concrete, and heavy welding. It felt less like simple safety measures and more like an effort to block access entirely. Looking into one sealed tunnel revealed a long, solid passage disappearing into darkness.
But there's artifacts. How do we get over this? This old electrical, freaking concrete man door. I can't tell how old that is. How is this even in there? Is it bolted? Oh, it's welded and then they bolted into the rock.
Then a sudden scream rang out through the trees. It didn't resemble an animal, and it didn't sound human. The sound froze him in place and changed everything.
And it's dry. What the freak? That was weird.
Jed decided to leave, trusting his instinct over curiosity. The source of the sound was never identified, and the sealed mines only added to the unease. In a place like that, would you keep going or walk away? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.